My Nissan Juke was experiencing some charging issues. I guessed it was the alternator going bad and decided to change it myself. I'm not a mechanic or anything, I just didn't want to pay one. This is how I did it from start to finish. In my case, I saw a red battery warning light and even noticed some smoke coming from the alternator. I went ahead and replaced it, but it turns out it wasn't actually the issue. So before you swap yours out, watch this video first. It might save you some time, money and frustration. The engine I'm working on here is the 1.5 DCI, which I believe is one of the easiest models to change the alternator on. If you've got the petrol version, you might need to remove the front bumper to access everything. The alternator's down there. Luckily you can see the part number on the back of the alternator, so I'm able to order it. So the steps to do this, you've got to remove this wheel, get into the arch liner in order to remove that belt down there, and then once that's removed, hopefully we can pull this out from the top once we've removed this pipe and this bracket. I've already tried lubing up these bolts a little bit. Got to remove this arch liner here. So far I can see there's one nut there which is a 13mm. There's something else holding it on, but I'm not exactly sure where. That didn't sound good, did it? And then it's got these two which should be nuts, 8mm. It looks like that's already been bodged with a Phillips. There's another one at the top. I'm just going to remove it just to get the arch liner out of the way. I'll just show you what you should do. So it should just pull out. You just need a little pry tool. And there we go. Just pulls out. Still, I think it's broken, so it's best to order some more of these. They're only cheap and get them anywhere, I think, so in case they break. In order to get this belt off, you need to get a 16mm, and it has to be an offset spanner. If you use a normal one, you're going to really struggle to get on there because it backs onto this. Just literally spent like an hour trying to find this, but yes, that goes on there like that, and then you go clockwise and that loosens it up, and then you'll be able to pull the belt off of that. Also take note of the way this belt has been routed, so when you go to put it back on, you know what way it goes. You're, according to the manual, supposed to change the belt and the tensioner every time you take it off, but obviously this is Bodge Diary, so we're going to leave it. We can always just change that at a later date anyway. Back up to the top of the engine, start trying to get to the alternator. First thing to take this pipe off. So that's a 7mm. Just move that out of the way. Ideally you could do with that coming out. Moving that was a bit of a faff just because I didn't know what I was doing. When you know, it's easy. It's hard to film because it's right in there, but the key is to get under these tabs and pull this out. Once that's out, then the pipe just pulls off. Right, now I'm just going to move on to this. I need to get this bracket off. So there's a bolt there and a bolt there, and that one there, sorry. So hopefully that is all three. The other one's right on the back, difficult to get in there. I don't know where to get in there, to be honest. We're better off with a spanner. Why is it always the 10mm that are missing? I thought it was just sockets, but lost the spanner, so I'm going to have to try and use this one for now. After a massive faff, I've managed to get that bolt out. If I'd have had the 10mm ratchet, it would have been so much easier. But I got it out. What I did is undo that first, get a bit more access. It's got the 2 bolts off, so it says remove the 2 bolts, which I've done, and that has done absolutely nothing because this is all still connected by a bit of plastic anyway, so I'm not exactly sure why it said to remove that bracket. So I don't think we're actually going to be able to get that out of the way, so I think we're just going to have to work around it after all. So probably best to just disconnect these first. Before I start messing around with the electrics, I'm going to just disconnect the battery, just the negative terminal. And I'll just disconnect this bolt, which is a 12mm. Right, now I just need to disconnect. This should just pull out. Me and plastic clips don't get on very well. I couldn't film it because the camera was in the way, but what I did was I put a screwdriver on each side, pressed it in like that, and it popped off. So that is now out. So now I just need to focus on getting the actual alternator off. There's 2 bolts that hold it on down there somewhere. It's going to be easier to access them from down here. I think it will, to be honest. It looks like 13s. Right, it's actually a 10mm. It won't come out all the way, so it's hitting, but apparently there's some sort of slot in there, so hopefully when I start pulling it, it will just come out, hopefully. The top one you can attack from the top. It's been a bit of an awkward place there, so it's just behind that cover, but you can get onto it with a ratchet. It's just so awkward to get your hand in there because of these aircon pipes, but I've got it out now. Hopefully that is just going to pull out now all the way, which it does. So that is out, the top one. I just need to try and wiggle it out somehow. Just remembered I had this bad boy in the arsenal, so managed to just use that instead. Just get it in there and pull that off like that. No hammer required. Just need to get that bottom bolt off now.
It took a bit of wiggling and persuasion with a bar before it came free. Regardless of how I tried to position it, it refused to come out, so I had to turn my attention back to the bracket.
Just worked out why the manual said to remove the bracket, because it was getting caught on that bracket, but there was a bolt, there was a little 8mm there. I've taken that off. Now if I slacken this off, that bracket just pulls off. So now hopefully that should give me enough room now to wiggle this out, which it does. For that silly pipe. She's out. Perfect. So yeah, it looks a lot easier than the petrol ones where you've got to take the whole front bumper off, but you can do it on the 1.5 diesel. Now that alternator's out, you can see how that tab thing works. It's got, so obviously once it's out so far, I can just slide out, because otherwise it's just knocking on the side there. From looking on forums, people are saying it's not a genuine alternator, they're having problems. So just an aftermarket one was like £300. God knows how much a genuine one would be. So I've ended up just getting this from the breakers online for 24 quid. Unbelievable. A year warranty as well. So I'm just going to chuck that on and hopefully that works. So this is the original one. Come off the car, put old on it so I don't get them mixed up, but that's the new one, exactly the same. This one's actually come off 2017 as well, but I don't know how many miles it's done. But I thought for 24 quid with a year warranty, you can't go wrong. So let's try that. Just come up with this contraption to hold the pipe back. Thought that was pretty good.
Reinstalling it was essentially a reverse of removal. It was a tight fit getting it back into the mounting points and required some forceful handling. The bottom bolt had to be installed first and it took a bit of manoeuvring to get it aligned. The same went for the top. I had to give it a light tap with a hammer and a piece of wood to get it perfectly into place. I then connected the power and communication plugs back to the alternator along with the tricky bracket before finally reconnecting the battery. Although the alternator was working, it turned out it wasn't the issue. The real problem was a blown fuse. If this video helped you in any way, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching.